I think we need more thinking.
Blue Arrow is showing signs of his return. What happened tonight's game? Let's find out. You're listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. Let's get it.
Let's try to get healthy. Let's stay together. And if we can do that, we'll put ourselves in a good situation.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So the Nuggets are back for their first game in Ball Arena since the Blue Arrow game of Game 6 against OKC last postseason to take on the Chicago Bulls. Both teams were 2-1 at the start of this game in preseason, and the first thing noticed is no altitude feed. Altitude just doesn't want to do preseason games. They never do, and it's really frustrating. I wish that they would, because I can't stand listening to other teams' commentators. Luckily, the Bulls commentators are one of the few that I can actually bear with, though there were times where I got super frustrated with them over some of their lack of calls or their bias calls. But for the most part, they were fairly non-biased. The other one that I remotely enjoy listening to is actually, surprisingly enough, the Lakers. I do kind of appreciate the Lakers commentators. They aren't bad. And then, of course, the Knicks commentators. But they're actually a little bit more biased, to be honest. Bulls are one of the few, along with our altitude folks. And just kind of unfortunate that they don't call these preseason games. So we had the Chicago feed, and only the Chicago feed, unfortunately. The Nuggets were playing all their starters. This was kind of more or less a dress rehearsal for the regular season. So they played Jokic, Jamal, Cam John, Aaron Gordon, and Christian Brown. The Nuggets were wearing their white jerseys and the Bulls their famous red jerseys. And the Nuggets got the win, 124-117. Let's go, Nuggets. Adeline, before the game even started, even recognized the fact that last season the Bulls kicked the Nuggets' ass. So this was definitely a point of emphasis to take on the Bulls and to get the win at home. Despite the fact that it was a preseason game, still, that was much needed. So what happened in the game? Well, let's dive into it. So the first quarter, the Nuggets win the tip and immediately turn the ball over on an offensive foul from AG. Buzelis, on the other end, gets a layup for the first points of the quarter and the game. Jok, on the other end, then gets a floater to get the Nuggets on board, and then Giddey drills a three to get a 3-point lead for the Bulls. Jamal then gets a layup and draws a foul for the and one to tie the game. Then Giddey knocks down a second back-to-back three. He can be very lethal if he's on a heater and if left alone. Like, if we all remember the amazing half-court shot that he made against the Lakers in Chicago last season, he can be very lethal at times. So Nuggets were at first kind of letting him start to cook, and luckily enough, they started to tamper that really quickly. So then the two-man action between Jok and Jamal showed up in this game with a layup, followed by a CB lob to AG to get the lead by one. Then Cam takes a hard foul from Giddey, goes to the line, makes both free throws, and you could tell he didn't like it. He, I think, mouthed the words to Giddey that it's preseason, don't go this so hard. But followed with that by a fast break layup by Jamal, missing, but CB with the tip in to get a 5-point lead for the Nuggets. Forced Chicago to take the first timeout of the game. Out of the timeout, the Bulls miss a three. The ball goes to CB and Jok for a two-man action, for Jok getting the ball on a bank shot for two. Then Cam gets away with a kick out. Yes, I will definitely call when the Nuggets have these fouls. I'm not as biased, though sometimes I know I can be. But Cam definitely kicked out and got away with it, luckily, gets the foul and goes to the line for three. And he makes all three to get a 10-point lead for the Nuggets. Jamal then knocks down a three as the Nuggets go on a 16-0 run. The starters were on fire tonight. Bulls challenge foul call on Okoro against Jok, which was unsuccessful. Jok makes both free throws and brings the lead to 15. Finally, Giddey hits a three to stop the Bulls bleeding. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. and P. Watt check in at the 5:31 mark as Murray goes to the line to make a pair. Jok gets a lob to P. Watt, and then Brucey B checks in at the 3:40 mark. Bulls chip the lead to 12 as Nuggets bench isn't able to convert any points. And then Jok swaps with Big Val as Big Val gets fouled, goes to the line and makes one of two. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. is fouled by Dosunmu for three at the arc and makes all three. So very awesome when the Nuggets are on the end of getting fouled beyond the arc and they make all the free throw shots, because there was a lot of fouls in this game. This was very foul heavy. Tim Hardaway Jr. then finally makes an actual three, but is called off from a moving screen by P. Watt. On the other end, Dosunmu gets fouled, driving to the rim, makes the bucket, goes to the line for the and one, makes it. Finally, Brucey B gets a floater for his first points back in Ball Arena. Awesome to see. And so the Nuggets win the quarter 37-29. Definitely could have been a little bit higher had they not, got caught with some of these ticky-tack fouls and just boneheaded plays. But so far, a fairly strong first quarter for the Nuggets. The second quarter started off with the AG, Big Val, Murray, Cam, and P. Watt lineup as the Bulls miss. AG then knocks down a three for the first bucket of the quarter, followed by a Big Val step back for two. And then Murray makes a shot clock buzzer beater for three, like pure Blue Arrow style shot clock buzzer beater. It was actually off of 1 foot too. He hopped up on 1 foot and crushed that three. It was amazing to watch. Definitely brought back vibes, of whenever he goes on a heater and the Blue Arrow vibe and everything. I'm really hoping that we are seeing that this season, because there was definitely lots of that in this game. Jokic then checks back in at the 9:46 mark, but Big Val does not check out. So the Nuggets play big, and we see another Big Val and Jok lineup. But to add to that, we also had AG still playing. So the Nuggets played very big, and I was all for it. I am completely on board for this lineup. Let's go. Because at the same time, before this game even started, I watched a little bit of the Rockets and Pelicans game tonight, and they played big. Like, all of their starters were big. They played Steven Adams, Şengün, obviously Kevin Durant, and then Jabari Smith, like all of their big guys. So this is going to be a lineup that you will need when facing someone like the Rockets. So I'm glad that Adelman started to tamper with this kind of lineup, because this is something that we are going to need later on for certain teams. So then Big Val gets a huge block on Giddey, and CB gets the ball, and on the fast break, feeds it to Murray, who is fouled, going for a layup, goes to the line and makes both buckets. AG nails a big three after a hard-fought offensive rebound to get the Nuggets first to 50. And then Tim Hardaway Jr. finally hits a three, one that's actually is counted, forcing the Bulls to take a timeout. I loved seeing him finally make a three. We've been waiting 3 preseason games, which I know isn't a lot, but still, each game feels like it's like a month long. So this finally see him hit down a three was really good. He actually had a decent amount of points in this game, as far as a bench player goes, which was good to see him start to knock these things down. Same thing with Cam. So he forces the Bulls to take a timeout. So then Nsegwe checks in for the Bulls. And I got to be honest, whenever I see Nsegwe, I can't stop thinking of this. I mean, like, come on. He is never going to outlive this. This is crazy. This is just Oh, I love this. This is amazing. And as much as I do like the Bulls, I am not so high on Asengwe, so I love seeing this. This is great. But Brucey B, off an assist by Tim Hardaway Jr., drills a three, which, again, love seeing Brucey B hit shots, hit amazing defensive plays, like him slowly coming back. And I can understand why we've waited for this long for him to kind of really start to show up, because of the fact that he had surgery earlier on in the year. So he's still kind of favoring a little bit, doesn't want to ball out too much right now in the preseason. And I get that. I think we are going to see a very different Brucey B come regular season, and I can't wait to see him start to go off and get the dunks that we've been wanting him to do and everything. Like, it's going to be a lot better than what it is right now with him. So hang tight, Nuggets Nation, hang tight. Jamal then takes it to the rim off an assist by Brucey B, looking like the full Blue Arrow revenge tour, like I told you, and knocks down the bucket. Nuggets then win the second 30-26 and go into the half on top 67-55. Third quarter, the Nuggets start the quarter off with Jok, AG, Cam, CB, and Murray as Vucevic shoots an air ball three. Jok then steps back jumper over Vucevic for the first bucket of the quarter, which is beautiful. Jokic then fouls Buzelis beyond the arc, sending him to the line for three, and makes all three to chip the lead down to 14. Bulls then start to double up on every Nugget who has the ball. AG drives to the rim and gets hacked, sending him to the line and makes the both free throws. But this was something I definitely was noticing, that they were starting to double up. Not just Jokic, they were doubling up every single player. Every single starter that had the ball, they would double him up with at least two guys, really trying to limit the shooting from the Nuggets, because the Nuggets were definitely getting a lot of what they wanted tonight. Though the percentages won't really tell you that. The percentages weren't that great, and that kind of leads more towards the end of the game. But still, AG got fouled as he was getting hacked at the baseline there, trying to drive to the rim, goes to the line and nails down both buckets there. And then AG screens for Cam, who nails down another three. And then Giddey tried to rush the ball up the court. However, Jokic was there to poke the ball out and slow down the offense and allow the rest of the Nuggets defense to set in. Beautiful, smart playing again by Jokic, leading to Buzelis then ending up traveling and a turnover, leading for a Nuggets basketball. Murray then gets chased by Buzelis, and it was like he was dancing all over the court, making the starters, the Bulls starters, do cardio and high altitude, draining them. It was amazing. And he gets chased by Buzelis all the way as he turns the corner for an easy layup, gets fouled, plus the one, lead balloons to 22. Remember this, the lead is 22 and we're in the third quarter. Buzelis then knocks down a three to stop the bleeding, and Williams knocks down a three as well, as the Nuggets starters start to look very tired at this point. Adelman calls a timeout. Jamal swaps out for Tim Hardaway Jr. Cam flushes another three to get the lead back to 20, forcing Bulls to call a timeout, and P-Watt swaps out for AG, wrapping his night with 17 points in 21 minutes. AG did. Then Tim Hardaway Jr. charges the rim for a floater, gets fouled, makes the and one shot. But the charge to the rim, he was all out. It was a lot of heart in that, the charging towards the rim, especially for his age. And loved what I saw. He did a great job just showing effort. Trying to make a bucket, and was rewarded with the and one. So CB then long passes to Jok for a Jok preseason dunk. That's right, we got a Jok dunk in preseason. Let's go. Loved it. Unforgiving. The lightning is coming. Let's go, Jok. And of course, that was the mark where they had to call a timeout and get Jok out of there. So Collins then gets a floater, and Adelman calls a timeout to get Jok out of the game, along with Cam Johnson. And Jok ends the night with 18 points in 23 minutes. Cam with 11 points in 21 minutes. So much better than the previous games for Cam John. Jamal then comes back into the game, which I thought he was done, but he came back into the game along with P-Watt. And CB, driving finger roll layup, gets the Nuggets first to 100. Nuggets with a dominant quarter win the third, 37-28. However, it will be the Bulls that get the most dominant quarter in the fourth here. So Nuggets start the quarter off surprisingly with Jamal. I think that they were really trying to play this as close as a dress rehearsal as possible. So P-Watt and Big Val, Strother and Brucey B all start the fourth quarter as Murray draws the foul on Dosunmu, goes to the line, makes both for the first buckets of the quarter, and getting Murray with 30 points in 25 minutes. He goes out finally. So he got back in. Actually, he was in for 27 minutes. Yeah, 27 minutes. So, but he got 30 in 25, and then he stayed for another 2 minutes. So Adelman calls a timeout, and that's when he gets Murray out because there was a charging call on Strother. He calls a challenge on that. It's unsuccessful and ends up being Bulls ball. Carter then gets fouled beyond the arc by Spencer Jones, who was showing the same amount of effort and integrity with his defensiveness as we saw in the Clippers game. But this kind of just shows you that each game is going to have a different officiating feel to it. And not every officiating or ref is going to allow the aggressive defensive plays that we saw from Spencer Jones in the first one, which is typically the one that you will see from like the T-Wolves or the OKC. But this one, he got called for foul, and he sends him to the line. And then Bulls still have Giddey in at the 7:12 mark of the fourth quarter. It's crazy. Like, they still had their starters playing in the fourth quarter, and obviously they're kind of doing a dress rehearsal too. I think this was their last game, if I'm not mistaken, because some teams have only 4 games in the preseason, some have 5. Nuggets have 5, fortunately or unfortunately. I don't know if that is good or bad. I guess you could take it either way, because you either get more rest or you get more chances to practice against other teams in these matchups here. But they still have him in, and then Strother loses his defenders, then splits 2 more defenders for an easy layup. Beautiful play by Strother. Strother then gets a wedgie off of a floater. The Nuggets get Hunter, Zeke, and Pickett in, and the jump ball goes to the Bulls. Spencer Jones checks out after racking up his 4th foul along Strother and DH2, along with Curtis Jones checks in, and then Curtis Jones nails his first attempted 3. It's amazing. Like, I love Curtis Jones right now. He is showing so much promise, and he needs to be playing more minutes, especially in regular season. Great minutes to be developed, you know. So each Nugget player putting up lots of shots, but not making them, and not even trying to box out for the offensive rebound, as the Nuggets' third string players get worked, and the lead gets stripped from 22 as it was down to 8. And the Nuggets managed, though, to hold on to the win, but the Bulls crushed the last string players in the fourth quarter with 34-20. 34-20. So they got beat out by 14 points. That last quarter, they got blown out in that last quarter. But luckily, the starters blew out the Bulls so much that the Nuggets still won. 124 is your final score to 117. One real quick thing, too, is that offensive foul that, the defensive foul that, so when Carter got fouled by Spencer Jones, it sent him to the line for a 4-point play. Luckily, the refs waived the basket because then they re-looked at the play and they saw that there was a moving screen on Collins. And this is where I got a little bit annoyed at the Bulls commentators because they were saying that was a bad call, that's perfectly fine for Collins to do. No, it's not. That was 100% a moving screen, and you got to call it when you see it. And luckily, the refs this time saw it on the replay, and they made the right choice. The only thing that I didn't understand was that then the Bulls got the ball back, and I don't understand that. So they got the ball back, and then Carter made a floater. So whereas he would have made a 4-point play, ended up making a 2-point play, still wasn't enough. So we still won. Big takeaway is that we still won. So let's get into the stats here. So the stats. Again, Cam John played 21 minutes, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 for 7 from field, 2 for 4 from 3, 5 for 5 from free throws. A lot of free throws in this game. So we nailed down a lot of them. I think that was the biggest story for this game was the amount of free throws and fouls being called. So that's actually where we made a lot of our points. He had 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls. He was a plus 21. Then Aaron Gordon played 21 minutes again, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. He was 6 for 11 from field, 2 for 3 from 3, 3 for 3 from free throws. He had 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, was a plus 32. 32 for 32. Awesome for our Mr. Nugget. And then MV3 should be MV5. Nikola Jokic played 23 minutes, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, a near triple-double. 1 steal, 7 for 10 from field, didn't take a 3 shot at all, 4 for 4 in free throws, 0 turnovers, which is amazing to see. I love seeing when Jokic doesn't do a turnover. And then 4 personal fouls, he was a plus 24. Christian Brown had played 27 minutes tonight. I think he played the most amount of minutes. He did, only by like seconds because Murray played also 27 minutes. But Christian Brown, 27 minutes and 40 seconds, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 for 7 from field, 0 for 1 from 3, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, was a plus 21. So not a great offensive night for CB, but still a great defensive play for him. Very good. Just overall, I'm so happy with Christian Brown. Even when he has games like this, he still shows impact on the floor, and I love seeing that. Jamal Murray, Blue Arrow showed out tonight. 27 minutes for 27, 30 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 for 18 from field, 2 for 8 from 3, 10 for 10 from free throws. 0 turnovers, 0 personal fouls, was a plus 15. Let's go, Jamal. Though I will say that the 3-point percentage there is not great. 25% is not great. That's the same percentage, essentially, that Cam John had in the Clippers game on Sunday. So not great, but still amazing. The ones that he did put up were amazing. And the field goal percentage still is 50. So 50% from field is still really good, though Jokic did better. 70% is pretty awesome. So then Tim Hardaway Jr., out of our bench players, 20 minutes tonight, 10 points. 10 points is still much better than what he was doing before. So I will take it. Awesome for THJ. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 block. 2 for 8 from field, 1 for 7 from 3, 5 for 6 from free throws. He was not the first Nugget to miss a free throw, but he was one of them. The first one was actually Valanciunas. He missed 1 of 2. So then Tim Hardaway had 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, was a plus 2. And then Peyton Watson, because I do want to continue to point out his stats here. He played 21 minutes tonight, made 12 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 for 7 from field, and then 6 for 7 from free throws. That's a lot of free throws for P-Watt to be shooting. 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls was a -3. Now, 12 points for P. Watt does seem kind of low, but he was showing a lot of playmaking tonight. He showed up to kind of almost be like the backup point guard. I was very much interested in watching this part. He definitely showed maturity and attacked the rim, shrugged off defenders a lot of the times. Like, he was definitely grabbing into his bag of tricks and showing like he is definitely a 4th-year player now. I would say in his 3rd year, he didn't look like a 3rd-year player. He looks more like a rookie or a 2nd-year player. 4th year now, he is definitely caught up. Whatever he did in the offseason and in training camp is working for him. I hope he keeps on doing it. And Adam from DNVR says that he does not see him doing most improved player. I really hope that he's wrong, because I really want to see Peyton Watson. I want to see a Nugget be most improved player, and I hope that Peyton Watson is that person or is that player. Brucey B played 20 minutes. He had 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 2 for 5 from field, 1 for 2 from 3, 0 turnovers, which is great compared to the previous games that he was doing. 2 personal fouls was a -4. Valanciunas played 17 minutes tonight. 17 for Mr. 17. There's a lot of jersey numbers comparing with the stats tonight. I'm seeing you got Jamal Murray 27 with 27 minutes. You got Aaron Gordon with the +32. You got Valanciunas with 17 minutes wearing 17. Crazy. He had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 awesome block. 2 for 5 from field, 0 for 1 from 3, 3 for 4 from free throws. So that 1 is the first one that the Nuggets missed. And then he had 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls was a -3. Like, one thing I'm noticing with Valanciunas is that he still seems like he's kind of stuck in Eurobasket play, where you can make these hard fouls and get away with it. In NBA, he has to hold back. He has to rein it in a little bit because he is fouling really early. He got into, he only played 17 minutes. In 17 minutes, he racked up 4 fouls already. And he actually racked it up towards a little bit at the end. He was doing fairly good at the beginning, and then he was falling into the trap, the bait, he was falling for the bait. And then who else do I want to talk about real quick? I think we're good. Oh, nah, we're good. The lowest minus was Zeke Naji, Pickett, Hunter Tyson, all -13, and they deserve it because they did not play well tonight at all. Hunter Tyson really hasn't played well at all. For a 3rd-year player, he definitely needs to get better because, man, CB in his 3rd year was a candidate for most improved player. Hunter Tyson is still looking like a G League player. I mean, I don't know what he's going to take for him to really dial it in. And I mean, I know he's never seen a shot that he doesn't think that he can make, but he is missing every shot that he tries to make. And it's kind of annoying. Even Dron Holmes tonight did not have a great game. He was a -8. And all of them didn't make one single point except for Zeke. Zeke made 1 point, and that was from a free throw that he made, and he missed the other free throw. So Curtis Jones also had 3 points, and that was from the 1 3-point shot that he made. So once again, we did not see Moses Brown or Kessler Edwards, which I'm very disappointed with. I love that one of the big takeaways that Adelman had after the game was health. He said that his main focus right now is health. And that is something that we didn't necessarily hear from Moach. He definitely had that in his vocabulary at times, but he was so focused on winning that he didn't really focus so much on the health aspect. So the fact that Adelman is playing several other string players is very good. That's a very positive thing to consider. That is actually something that Kerr Coach Kerr does for Golden State. He plays a lot of his players to show, to develop those other players so that you need them. So when you do need them, they can show up. And I know that the Warriors are kind of iffy right now, but still, like, he's one of the best coaches, not the best coach. Obviously, Popovich is the best coach, and there are several other coaches that are ahead of Kerr, but Kerr winning 4 titles doesn't, nothing to sneeze at. Like, he definitely is a great coach. So Adelman kind of taking that page out of his book and playing more of these players does show hope, because I guarantee you, if Malone was coaching right now, there would be like 10 guys playing only during these games, even in preseason. So, it's still, though, I don't know why, other than the fact that we have such a horrible contract with Zeke, and maybe they're trying to get the most out of that contract as possible and to getting him into a trade level player. I don't see why they play him over Moses Brown and Kessler Edwards. Like, those two played one game, 4 minutes in one game. And in their 4 minutes, they played way better than Zeke has ever played. I guarantee, there was the one game that he played very well in last season. But still, we need to see more Moses Brown and Kessler Edwards, and I hope that we see them play next game against OKC. But so then overall stats, we had 37 rebounds to their 42, so they out-rebounded us. Then we had 26 assists to their 31. We had 7 steals to their 3. We had 2 blocks to their 9. We shot 43% from field. They shot 51%, so they definitely outshot us in the field. We shot 27% from 3. They shot 34%. So they were actually shooting a little bit better than we were. And granted, that was a little bit more in that fourth quarter. But then we shot 90% from free throws. They shot 78%. So definitely outshot them in free throws. Not the fact that we went to the foul line 41 times tonight. They went 28 times. So almost 70 times. That is crazy for one game. We are just making up crazy stats nowadays in preseason, we got 9 turnovers. 9, again, from that 31 to whittle it down to 15, and now 9. This is a fantastic trail that they're going down. They had 18 turnovers, so we definitely caused them to have more turnovers. We had only 9. Then we had 28 personal fouls. They had 32. So my big takeaways for this game, this looked like the easiest game for the Nuggets, and I refuse to believe that the Bulls are worse than the Raptors. I think it was more that the Nuggets were finding a rhythm at home finally, and the altitude really got to the Bulls. Their defense was slowing down as the game progressed when the starters were playing, and then the game became very foul heavy as soon as the second string and third string players checked in, and suddenly it gave life to the Bulls, foul baiting the inexperienced Nuggets while taking advantage of nervous shooters. But despite all of that, the starters kicked ass and took names tonight and showed they are ready. They are ready for regular season. Jamal has never looked this good in preseason heading into regular season. And if he averages 30 points in 27 minutes like he did tonight over the next 3 months, we are going to see Jamal become an all-star. Bet that. It was an amazing game. Very fun to watch, especially for the first game back in Ball Arena. Glad that we're back, and we have one more preseason game, y'all. One more preseason game. Those dreaded Dust Bunnies are up next on Friday. Now, here's the issue with what I'm going to be facing for Friday, because if you don't watch WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces won the WNBA championship, which is amazing. Love Asia Wilson. She deserves MVP. She is definitely the GOAT of WNBA. She is one of the she is the best women's player to date. and they are going to have their parade on Friday around the same time that the Nuggets are playing. So I need to figure out how I'm going to watch the game and do a podcast while possibly attending that parade. That's something that I got to deal with, but this might be a podcast that I will do after that game, meaning the next day if I have to, because I don't see how I can juggle both. But I will try my best, and if nothing else, worst case worse, I miss this next game, and then I'm back with y'all maybe before the regular season starts, because we do have a little bit of time. The first regular season game does start on Thursday next week, the 23rd. So it'll be an ESPN game, unfortunately. But that's the world we live in now, with ESPN running the show. So get your earplugs ready or your mute button ready to mute those bias play-by-play analysis. Although if Legs is calling the game, then I think it should be fine. But if not, then get that mute button ready. So we'll be facing Golden State, and then our home game opener is against the Suns. So we are back. We are so ready, and now we just got to get that bench ready. Be more consistent. That's the big thing here for our bench players. They got to be more consistent. But that's pretty much all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. And if you feel gracious enough to give me a little donation, I would be very grateful, and I will definitely shout your name out, and you'll be a huge part of the history of this podcast. The link is in the description below, as well on my profile page. And you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. We'll catch you later.